Welcome in, welcome in. Let the party begin here at West Coast Uncensored. Daniel April, also known as D-Boy nickname. Somebody said, why do you carry that nickname? And I said, I'm going to add this too with it. I said, it was given to me a long, long time ago, and I just decided when I went in and started doing this, right, kind of adjusting some stuff here. Okay, more styles. This may pop on the screen. I'm good. No, we're good. We're good there. But man, it's been a while since I popped in on our spiritual content. I had a few deaths. I got some illnesses going on. Family definitely being hit. Definitely some stuff being hit. Family being attacked. But we live in a very, very definite world of if you don't know your power, you can actually impact yourself and cause your dynamite or your power, I'm using this word, to grift yourself, hijack yourself. I know we're hijacked by a system that hijacks us, definitely. Wants our energy, harvests our energy. If we don't know that yet, we're either still playing with spiritual dogma, and what I mean by that, we even have a lot of grifting in the spiritual community, just facts. And your discernment and maturity is beyond who to trust, who not to trust, when not to trust, and who's bringing something but really has even ulterior motives in what they say. Many trusted, I don't. Many people trust, nada. Because I understand and trust my discernment, and then it's other people say stuff that actually fits it. So I would say even when those who I do trust on certain levels, see, also I know there's very compartmentalization besides in our uniformitarian school system, college system. What the knowledge shared in college ain't the knowledge you're going to get here, because they won't share this here, there, or everywhere, because it's a program being ran on us, right? And many of us who are veterans, stand 10 toes down, kind of know that, right? So we're about love, the awakening, knowing not everything is namaste and not everything is good for you. Meaning everything ain't easy street, anything in this physical plane, simulation, it appears that anything that is in that state really doesn't serve us as anything that's easy or too easy, that easy peasy mentality. The generation like boomers, before the boomers, which I'm actually a boomer. I'm actually the 62, born in 62. I'm the last 2 years of boomer, right? 64, I think 64 and 65 is when boomer ends. It goes to what, Gen X or whatever. I think a lot of this is labeling by them that love to label, because after all, it's about the programs run on you, is the mindset you will have unless you go in there and you unplug the programming. That's why I think one of the main things that older videos of mine, I don't talk too much specifically and go on dip, but if you're new and you listen here, is I talk about the big thing we need to really look at, and let me move this a little closer, is the fact that we are in a state of, we need to go through a process of deprogramming within ourselves. When you wake up and realize when you don't know you're programmed is when you're programmed. When you're not acknowledging it, you don't know you're programmed, you have no idea what motherfucker's talking, excuse my language, but I said it that, my one cheat code pass. You don't know that you're programmed, you're programmed. When one knows they're programmed, they know they've been programmed, they go through a process of elimination, which is reverse engineering the programs, or let's call it a deprogramming aspect of it. Now, the deprogramming aspect takes a cleansing or cleaning of the programs, right? Which can make you feel empty, unbalanced, vacant, separated, not knowing whence and hence your foundation is, because your foundation used to be wrenched on a program, right? Whether it's religious, whether it's academic, or whether you're a nationalist, whatever. The reality, once you go through the awakening part, through the deprogramming, these things get erased and are no longer there. And this is where the maturity and patience of you have to take place. You have to acknowledge and take place with and wrestle with. Wrestling with the story of Jacob wrestling with the angel was about getting the crap out of you and realizing the crap was a foundation that you thought was stern and stable. But now you're wondering through this process, you're knowing it's not, but you don't know what is. So you're in this place of darkness, or the in-between, or let's call it between a dimension and the monad. The darkness, which is all potential and everything, which is a greater foundation than being indoctrinated with anything that's indoctrination from the lower levels of consciousness, usually used by, let's call it what it is, usually used for them that call themselves part of the mint. Yeah. You thought CIA and FBI were working for your enemies outside of you? No, they were working on you because they're the enemies within. This is literally parasites within and parasites without in a structured reality, especially when you adopt that outside reality as being a reality. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper in something I've covered, but we're going to get another angle, another frequency and a vibration. I'm not going to bring up a lot of like revelation cuties. This is the reality we live in, and hence, is life happening to us, or do we actually create it? Whether we voluntarily create it or unaware that we created it or not, we live in a system. We've talked many times here about the demiurge, that it calls himself something that he really is not, right? The demiurge. Calls himself the jealous one. No wonder, and I started looking at, somebody had brought up, this guy I had met online, had made a post on another post I was on a video I watched, and he said, notice the word, and he quoted Old Testament scriptures, I'm a jealous God. And then he used scriptures against Baal in the Old Testament, and I'm like, okay, where are you going with this? But he aligned it, and I go, whoa, that's good. Because he showed that Yahweh, who said I'm a jealous God, was even jealous of Baal. Not that what Baal was and he was righteous. He wanted what Baal was doing. Do you hear what I'm saying? He wanted to be the only guy. So he was in almost a FU attitude with Baal, because he's gotten to the place, this Yahweh character, which I believe is a program more and more. These are the archons, programs. I'm seeing this more and more. Not like just entities, but entities are programs. If this is a holographic reality, which many of us have come to realize it is, I Ching told us this 5,000 years ago. Esoteric Buddhism, 4,000 years ago. Come on now. Hinduism, 3,500 years ago. And Gnosticism, 1,500 to 2,000 years ago, were telling us where you live is a holographic reality. Meaning it's running on a numbered situation or a numbered system. Unnumbered, meaning it's mathematical, the system's mathematically formatted, that things appear. That's why they will, to me, this is why, and I'm always open to learn more, and if I don't know something, to disown something that I may think. I'll never tell you something's truth when I don't necessarily have it as being truth, revelation, provable, almost like the theory of relativity. People go, well, he said theory. Do you know that it's never moved out of theory? Which means it's never been proved. Come on. This is the debunking we must start doing within ourselves, and even being leerful of them who call themselves conscious community to look out for the best of us. So, food for thoughts to hang on to. Somebody could tell me something today that I don't know or I know about, and I can't say this is my truth yet, I haven't walked into this or whatever. Whether they tell me it or whether they don't doesn't change me. I don't freak out if they tell me something I don't know, because I don't have to own something until it's mine. I can hear it, I could file it, but I haven't processed it yet, and I haven't uploaded it. Has not been uploaded to within me as being a dynamic truths, right? Truths roll. Truths unfold themselves within themselves. Certain physical truths and historical truths don't, but certain deeper truths of us in consciousness and the unveiling of itself with the unfolding of itself keeps mirroring us. But anyways, So think about it. So he's the jealous God, and besides him, there's no other. So every other God, because he's from the same pantheon as 3, 4 others. Come on now, that pantheon is the Canaanite Phoenician pantheon, which was adopted by the Israel, right? And many would say, well, Israel's first. No, they were always the last to come. Just gotta give you the truth, man. It's time to wakey chicken bakies. But anyways, that look right there is like, do you see what I see? I'm not singing that Christmas carol either, because it ain't a carol. But also mentioned this Old Testament is the people are destroyed from lack of knowledge, lack of wisdom. We ain't even gotten the message yet. We're almost 12 minutes deep. We're a little going towards 11 and a half now. So this is going to be a good one today. So why would somebody who can't give you responsibility because they don't know something yet be held accountable for something because they lack the knowledge and wisdom of it? Meaning they're not playing with it. They don't even know it exists, right? We make a lot of excuses for the unconscious and them who don't know things. We do. We call it unconscious, call it lack of accountability, call it that these people just don't freaking know. I'm beginning to wonder who's capable. Is there many not capable of knowing? Because they ain't what you think. Not all are the same. And why I said that, we will be punching on this the next two videos I got. We will be digging into possibilities, ancient possibilities mentioned about this. And I've gone over this before, but we're going to look at this with a new mirror. Hence, that's why the name of this is the reflective mirror. So say you have no knowledge, and that's why you have no knowledge and wisdom, and the people are destroyed for having no knowledge and wisdom. They ain't a true lover. That old that old demiurge ain't a true lover. It's like, vengeance is mine. I want all of it. You don't give me what I want. I'll hex you, put a hex on you. You don't do what I say. I'll have you eating your kids. I'll have you sacrificing your own children. All this stuff is Old Testament jibby juke. It's in there. We're awakened to it. We see the flaws in it. We see the hijacking in it. Where many seen thousands of years ago knew this. We talked about them that knew this and would brought this out. But think about it. But if it's a reflective mirror, holographic reality, and now we're in. Think about this. Even if you're unknowledgeable, that you create your reality. You create your snake bites. You create your lack of fortune. You actually create, because you have the power within the curriculum in this frequency and vibration and the reality that we live in, energetic fields that we live in, surround us, through us, in us. That if you change your subconscious, you can be a creator. But it doesn't creator for what you want in awareness. You're aware that you're creating, and you have a focus, intention of what you're creating, right? But what if you're creating without a focus, intention would mean without knowledge? And you create a destroying principle on yourself, a judgment principle on yourself, a lack of substance within yourself, lack of responsibility within yourself, lack of upgrading yourself, because you're always creating that which takes you away from your power and judges you as you judge yourself. Because you don't know how the reality really, really works. But it's not because it's happening to you, is you're creating it with no wisdom, no knowledge, no understanding, and just no basic foundational knowledge of who you are, what you are, why you're here, and who you really are, and the deeper principles of self, not just the physical being. The physical is not who you are. It is a vehicle who you are resides in, but it also can have you stuck more than Chuck unless you wake up, because it seems that the density becomes dense even within who we are spiritually once we arrive in the dense state of a physical being. Breathe, Danny, breathe. So think about this. Them who have no knowledge, destroyed from lack of knowledge. Yahweh loves to quote that, right? The Old Testament. Destroyed from my people destroy from the lack of knowledge, because they're creating a frequency and a vibration to unhinge themselves in destruction. Hence, why is it said, liken into the days of, so shall it be in the days of the coming? Because this program, curriculum, lack of knowledge, keeps repeating. And I'm really amazed when I look at the world and what's happening and what's being presented to us in the illusionary state of the matrix, because it's a state of illusion. Everything's temporal. Nothing seems to be what it is when you get in the densest state, right? Everything seems to be, but when you get the higher knowledge, the inner knowledge, and start waking up, understand that it's not founded on that. So what if we took the lack of knowledge, the lack of maturity, the lack of wisdom, and reverse engineer that to having these things? Now you can really start creating with intention, power to create reality, abundance, connections, things, learning how to maneuver in a plane of dualistic, how to maybe collapse duality within yourself to get a unity oneness connection. Remember, everything built in here is divide and conquer, which is another cute way to say duality. Because all I got to say is, the best ice cream in the world is chocolate. And all the vanilla lovers say, you're stupid. And now we got a warfare division just over ice cream. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. But it's based on opinions. It's based on duality. And I can divide and conquer you over your favorite things, your countries, your presidents, your state, your races, your states. I can, your height, your fat, skinny, bald-headed, bunch of hair, just duality everywhere, and I can cause a division by just knowing how to tweak and set the explosion off from the people and their lack of knowledge and wisdom. Let's get that clear, the lack of knowledge and wisdom. So what if I was to go in and dive in, right? Re-engineer this, wake up. Not that I'm stupid anymore or lack wisdom or ignorant, for a better word, let's use ignorant, because ignorant just means you have knowledge, don't have knowledge of something. And now that I know I don't have knowledge of something, I go acquire knowledge of something. I go find out that I have which she is going to call it this, a jewel of wisdom, Gnosis, Isis, right? Isis in Egypt, or can I say Kemet? To Gnosis, Sophia, the feminine aspect now, has a bunch of jewels, and her wisdom is just amazing. And it's not from lack of wisdom. You're prepared with the wisdom how to reverse engineer the force field, or the field that we live in, our energetic framework and field that goes through us, around us, that will obey us if we're a clown or if we got wisdom, if we're an idiot or if we're just the wisest man on earth. We can create. You're creating whether you know it or not. Life's not, and the reason I'm saying that life is not happening to you, you're creating it. You just may be creating it with no knowledge and wisdom, which Yahweh said that's going to destroy you. It's going to destroy you. He said, my people, notice he even called them his people, will destroy the lack of knowledge. See, I ain't going to give you grace on this. I'll just polarize you mofos because you're stupid. Not very loving, but the energetic field of the curriculum works this way, right? Almost like the examples. Do you ever notice that the people that usually show up in your life when you're awake and you really are aware and acknowledge it are the same people over and over that usually are showing up to teach you something, or are they showing up because this is what you're putting out in a reflective, mirrored reality, and that which you put out is that which you receive back. Meaning, you don't get what you want, you get what you are. So let's share some stuff and get the good way to go from this way, from one state to another. Let's do this. I got some things to share. We're going to talk about the reflective mirror. We're going to talk about the reflective mirror. Let me see if I need anything. If not, I'm good. If I don't need my glasses, I will not use them. Believe me. As we see right away in the overview, it says it's a Buddhist teaching of the reflective mirror. The Buddhists, or they use the mirror as a powerful metaphor for the mind, symbolizing its pure, empty nature like a clear mirror that reflects reality without distortion. When polished, cleared of defilements like anger and attachment. It teaches us that our true Buddha-like nature, Buddha, actually the word Buddha, let's go at metaphorically. Just like I say all the time, we talk about, oh, you're going to be like Jesus and Buddha and this. What if these are all nothing but metaphors about you? Buddha means, because Buddha even told themselves, you don't have to, with me, worship me. You need to become me. Meaning, what's Buddha? Buddha means enlightenment. When you become enlightened, you become Buddha, right? Clear mirror that reflects reality without distortion and polished, cleared of defilements, anger, attachment, okay? Notice this. This would be the ignorance of not knowing. See, we can start knowing and realize that we see anger and attachment. That's part of the awakening. That's part of the wisdom taking place, that you're acknowledging these things do shine and do come back on you, maybe because you have them, right? They're still there. But now you're aware of attachment. It teaches that our true Buddha nature is like the mirror, reflecting all phenomenon. By the polishing of the mirror, we see life's truths clearly, recognizing impermanence, and develop wisdom, compassion, insight to our own minds and world, which is the mirror. This would be the reflective mirror. As we know in science now, and I've mentioned here many times, we were told we're living in a mirror type universe. It's a reflective mirror. It is a mirrored reality. It's a holographic mirrored reality. And that this has been known, as you see, it's an old Buddhist teaching saying how this applies to you. And as you start developing, getting wisdom, insight, the mirror is a type of cleansing the distortion, or let's use even when you notice how when you put on your shower, close your bathroom door, don't put on the fan, your window it's fogged. And then you have to clean it, wipe it away, put on the fan, open the door to have it become clear so you could see well. It would be that type of same thing. So, mirror-like consciousness. The mind's fundamental nature is open and clear. The fundamentals of the truth is that it's open and clear. Capable of reflecting all appearances without being stained by them, representing a Buddha nature, which is enlightenment. Because notice the word enlightenment, it's not outlightment. Enlightenment, E-N-I-N, is the same thing. It's about the kingdoms within you. If this all seeds within you. The foundation of your truth is not outside of you. That which was in will end up reflecting that which was out, but the foundation is within. You do the work within, it goes without. The without does not travel back. If you're without, you're lost. That is without wisdom and knowledge, and why it would go with the being destroyed of the earlier quoted scripture, right? It's a practical self-reflection, clearing away biases, getting rid of that ego, getting rid of that. You're starting to clear away that ego. You're starting to clear away the aspects of, I talk heavily here about playing the victim, about blaming, and you start taking full responsibility for your own reflection, which clears away the biases, the distorted thoughts, like I said, the ego-driven stories, to see reality as it is rather than how we wish it to be, or delusions of how it should be or what it is. It's called polishing the mirror. Mirror-like consciousness is a fundamental thing. I like how they broke this into actually really good PowerPoints of teaching, and there's a lot of good things in Buddhism that when you get spiritual, you read it, because it's about the inner clairvoyance, or the inner state of you taking responsibility of you, and quit taking and playing the victim and then blaming somebody else outside you for your bullshit. I'm just going to say what it is, and that's, as you see, is running rampant in this world now. Everybody wants to blame somebody outside themselves for their lack and their lack of doing and their lack of knowledge and their lack of everything instead of taking responsibility. In my last video I even mentioned how that if we are not doing these things, that we create a duality on ourselves, because we create that. Life doesn't happen to us, we create it. If you play the victim, you will have a perpetrator who will whip your tail. And it's usually your own thoughts and your own self, but it can manifest outside yourself with somebody else. If you keep wondering why you're trying to find a husband or wife or a significant other, and the same people you'll keep attracting, and you want to blame the four different women or the 4 different men that you got in the relationship and the same thing happened and when you polish, you realize you're the lowest common denominator. It was about you. You're the problemo. Now take responsibility and quit passing the buck. That would be the awakening of taking responsibility. And that's why I say my people are destroyed from lack of knowledge. The lack of knowledge is they keep playing the victim and don't know how to take responsibility, because the polishing of this mirror is to get away all biases and all distorted thoughts, so you can start seeing things as they are, not as you wish or you delusion them to be. Woo! Woo! And I do this all the time with myself, because I'm always polishing my mirror. Self-reflection is evident to them who awake and go to the next level. If you're not, you're still living in ego and you're faking the funk, and you're easily seen by them that don't fake the funk. So let's go to part 3. Seeing the true nature. A tarnished mirror shows a distorted reflection. There we go. What we were just talking. Similarly, a mind clouded by negative emotions, anger, attachment, distorts our perception. We don't have a perception. The polishing aspect reveals our inherent Buddha nature. The inherent Buddha nature is the enlightenment does this process through you when you become enlightenment. There's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide when you become enlightened, and you're not living in your ego, and you're really realizing, I'm the creator. I need to take responsible for me being the creator of myself and my area and my energy. And if I'm still stuck in these places, I will live in distorted veil, which goes with delusionary veil, and I'm clouded by my anger, attachments, distorts our perceptions. Polishing reveals our inherent. So the process in the polishing this in our true nature, that's why first you have to witness the mirror-like consciousness, which is our reality we live in. The whole thing's a mirror. Like I said, you're reflecting, getting back that which you're putting out. That's why you reap what you sow. You can't plant an orange tree and expect it to be an apple. That's the foundation of what this is saying. The reflection of others. This goes that which is outside of you. That we perceive as faults in others often mirrors our own inner struggles. Did you hear what that just said? It took you from seeing the faults of others, and believe me, they do. They have their own faults they need to deal with. And if they don't wake up, they'll still deal with it, and you can tell them until you're blue in the face. If they have no Buddha or Christ activation of enlightenment in them, they will continue to play the putts. And judgment will come on them, because if you judge, what happens? You get judged. This is the concept of the mirror. Judgment. Judged. Meaning you're judging others. You can see their faults. Easy to see their faults. But it actually is in containing that, since it's a mirrored reality, this is your faults too. It's actually showing you. What's it require? Hidden aspects of ourselves. It shows prompting a deeper self-inquiry. Prompting a deeper self-inquiry. Taking responsibility and quit playing the putts. Taking responsibility and quit playing the putts is how I'm going to read that. Prompting a deeper self-inquiry means take responsibility and quit blaming others. Quit being a wimp, a sissy. Quit playing the victim. So this hidden aspects start being revealed on the reflection of others. The reflection of others can actually show us ourselves in a deeper way to start cleansing ourselves, right? Impermanence. The reflections in a mirror, faces, clouds, are temporary. Notice it says the reflections in a mirror, impermanence, faces and clouds, so it's not clearly seen, are temporary, meaning they're illusionary. They're not long-lasting, which is why where I see the word illusion being connected to. Not long-lasting. They have no substance. They're not really real. They're just very temporal states of being until you wake up. illustrating the impertinent nature, anika, of the phenomena teaching a non-attachment. And this is telling you in that, quit being attached to the outer states of the illusions and temporary things that are really not the truth, that really will have you living in your lower consciousness, in your lower self, in your ego. You'll be branded with your ego. And you're living in these states. And you have so much attachment that you really find it hard to disconnect. This will go hand in hand with my next video I'm going to do about 3 different types of people in the world. And the Bible calls them that are asleep, them that are awake, and then them that are alive. In the Christian version of the canonized version, in the Gnostic version, which is the version to me, because no ham hocking going on in that one. Pure light. The pneumatics, the psychics, and the hylics. The 3. Them that are awake, them that are asleep, them that are asleep, them that are awake, and them that are alive, or dead, asleep, dead, and alive. Teaching a non-attachment, getting unattached from that which is temporary, that which does not serve you in the long run. Getting founded in the truth. Example, Buddha, Ashkaobya, in Tibetan Buddhism. Buddha holds a mirror to represent seeing reality clearly, especially in the transitional state, bardo, after death. Encourages not to turn away from the difficult truths. And this is a key. This is why people play the victim, because when difficult truths come, people don't want to deal with it. They always want to pass the buck in general. The awakened ones know. When you really start awakening, you know it's about me. It's about me. Yeah, I'm definitely about me. It's about me. I take full responsibility. It's about me. I'm the one. It's about me, right? This is really what we get out of this. The difficult truths. Because this is the thing about truth. No matter what level the truth is, the truth doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't. The truth is that instant truth, instant karma that will slap you in the face and say, here's a mirror. This is the way you are. This is your problemo. It's you. It's not Johnny Blue or Jackie Smith. It is you. You're the one that's causing your problem. You're the one that needs to be behold to taking responsibility. This is difficult. Put your big boy pants on and put your big girl panties on and quit playing the victim. Deal with it. That's how you're going to grow, and that's how you're going to awake, and quit blaming it on others, because blaming is laming. If you blame, you're the one that will end up lame. What does lame mean? You can't walk straight. Remember the story, the Bible story about Cain and Abel? Abel had ability, was able. Cain needed a cane to support his walk. Why? Because he's lame. He can't walk upright. These are metaphors I'm using to show you the difficult truths will have some people run away, or I'll have some people decide to grow and face things head to head. Because this is what I even see with what we did, and I mentioned earlier, being from the different types of people they branded us as, right? The Gen Zs, the Boomers, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to call it just labels after label after label. I'll even say bullshit after bullshit after bullshit in the system of the Matrix. But the reality is, because people are people, they still got one head, 2 arms, 2 legs, they're the pentagram. Come on now, break it down. But the whole thing is about taking responsibility. What I noticed about a lot of the younger ones was, and I'm going to show you I'm going to use an old saying, and I'm going to show you how this created this. The boomers came from hard times with their parents who went through things. And there's this old saying, strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Again, which goes back to creating strong men because of the weak times. We see the weak times now. But here's one thing that the older folks did, especially the boomers, when they had success, made money, my generations, were able to afford houses or house, which people can't now, with their children, their grandchildren, or whatever, whomever. Watch what happens. You were strong, you were created, And what was the first mindset we said to their kids? And this hit me a while ago. What did we used to say to our kids? We would tell our kids, our children, what would we tell our children? Listen to this. We would tell our children, and we would tell people, we want to make things easier for our children. That's why we work so hard and give them everything they want. We didn't want them to have it like us, hard. But what ends up happening, what it produces is a weak generations. So what happens is they can't handle difficult truths. They run, put on panties. The boys put on panties, and the girls think they got boxers on, but they're really weak themselves. But they pretend to be strong. False flags, and false masculinity. Women, you guys don't make good masculine. You're bad at making masculine. Bad. That's a difficult truth for many of you. May hear that to swallow, but that's what we're talking about here. So what it produced, because our mindset was to make it easier for our children, we made weak children. Difficult truths. Or encourage us to turn away. After death, let us not turn away from different. It's talking about this Buddha, after the death and this process in a transitional state called Bardo, encourage us not to turn away, meaning take the difficult truths, because that's what's going to make you strong. That's why anybody that is out here doing their life, doing their things, guess what happens? When you are standing 10 toes down and standing strong, you're a stronger person. When you're always making the excuse and play the victim and play candy ass, I said that too, and play weak and whine and cry and snivel when you don't get your way, when hardness comes to you, you can't endure it. And we made a mistake, because the ones who were created the ones who aren't. And it's going to be a cycle, because the ones who aren't are going to go through the process to the ones who are, and it's a never-ending cycle of a program. The key is you can't take away your child's walk even. Some may need to, and walking a hard walk will make you strong. Walking a sissy candy walk will make you a weakling. Just like anybody who's played sports or lifted weights knows that you have to lift a certain regiment and tear muscle pain to build muscle strength, but you can just not build muscle at all and be a weakling. This is spiritual, mental, and everything else. Example of Buddha, Ashkope, yeah, very interesting state, good stuff here. How it's used, this would be some practices. If you have some other ones, that's good. I might add a couple others we go through. Meditation, definitely a big one. This will quiet the anger in you. This will quiet the instability in you. This will quiet the running loose, weak thoughts that you have that try to dictate to you how to live, right? And daily life, use relationships, experiences, mirrors. Instead of looking people to get angry with them or judgment or see if they think like you or have a revelation like you or even compatible with them, use them as your mirror to cleanse yourself. Very, very powerful. I've noticed that I didn't do it, but when through the process I did it and I go, oh man, they're really showing me about me. People I blame not being like me or weren't a connection with me were really showing me, and maybe they were only there temporal. A lot of times these relationships are temporal. They're not meant to be forever. And as they become more and more temporal, but it was for you to clean your mirror. Symbolic objects. The Gonzon, Buddhism, a physical Tibetan mirror, can serve as a tangible reminders of this teaching. Interesting, a Malong Tibetan mirror. I'm going to have to look that up. What is that? I know about the obsidian. What is this one? Let's go up a little bit. Let's go into some images. Hopefully you guys can see that. Some of the mirrored images of Buddhism and the Buddha mind. Maybe this will pop up even better for us. Karma is not a punishment or nor a reward. I like that. The energy you send into the world quietly finds its way back to you, the mirror. Sometimes sooner, sometimes later, but always will, because it's in truth, right? How you treat others teaches life how to treat you. Intentions shapes outcomes, even when no one is watching. When actions come from ego, harm, or selfish gain, The lesson returns in a form meant to be felt. This is the learning. This is what the mirror does. The karma mirror is just more instead of teaching you to adjust yourself and start refreshing and rebooting your mind, yourself, your heart. When actions come from honesty, respect, kindness, peaceful follows you naturally. Life does not judge, it reflects. I like that. Life does not judge, it reflects. Choose wisely what you place into that reflection. Awesome. Let me just go out of here. Awesome. Wow. Definitely appreciate that one. That was good. That was good stuff right there. So as we look at the mirror reflection, I like what the last part of that had said. I'm going to reread that. I'm not going to show you guys. I need to look at that last part again if it pops up, because I really like this. I'm going to reread it. You guys probably aren't seeing it this time, but I'm going to quote the last one. When actions come from honesty, respect, and kindness, peace follows you. Notice the reflection's peace. And everything that you put out, this is what follows you. Life does not judge, it reflects. Choose wisely and place it into that reflection. Meaning, don't judge. It's not about judgment, it's about reflection. Love it, love it, love it, love it. This is facts that we don't deal with in this holographic reality. And you might say, what are you doing today? What are you talking about today? This has everything to do with everything in this world. I said life's not happening to us, right? It's happening because we create it. It's a reflection. We reflect that which comes back to us. We plant the seed, and the seed comes back that we plant. If we plant rage, we can't expect peace. If we plant corn, we're not getting carrots, right? This is the foundational truth of the reality. And it says, remember, judgment isn't what you get the reflection. That's why the scripture says, if you get judged, lest you get ready to be judged, right? Because it's a mirror. See, many people indoctrinated in religion are going, oh, that's Buddhism, that's, because you don't get it. You're in dogma, indoctrination. Indoctrination's not facts, it's dogma. You've been taken around back and been siphoned with being ignorant to going back to the first scripture. It said the people are destroyed from lack of knowledge. Dogma, because we did this here, we broke down the word dogma, right? Many, many times. We broke down the word dogma. Esoteric, that which is hidden, truth. Only them in the club know what it means. Get the true knowledge. Exoteric, they have said, it makes a statement, them in power have decided what you're able to tolerate and learn. Somebody made a choice for you in dogma and indoctrination, what you can consume. Somebody did it for you, like you're a freaking animal in a freaking pen. Bunk that. Those who awake will understand esoteric. This is very powerful because this goes into something that was said years ago in Buddhism, said years ago in I Ching, and even in Taoism, and even in Hinduism. Maya, the mirrored illusion. Gnosticism talked about the mirror fragments, the fractals. Why? Because it was showing you that the illusions that appeared would hijack you, and if somebody wants to use them, in the story of them, it's the demiurge. It's just everything called with a mint does it now. It's the same thing. They want to hijack you into a belief system that it doesn't serve you, but takes from you, siphons your energy, farms your ass. 2, take it back, use the truth in the mirrored reality, because here's the fact is, if we have wisdom, like I said from the beginning of this, we have wisdom to take, right? We have wisdom to take. Guess what happens? Knowledge and wisdom, Sophia, Isis, Proverbs, wisdom. We start creating our own life in reality because we have that power. They don't want us to know we have that power because we can hijack this home. We could turn this Momo out. We could. But is this Momo so programmed that it's almost like it's the negative take of a real reality that the higher states of being, many are higher states of folks, of souls, enrich souls from higher states, knowing this is not your home. I'm just putting that out there. Almost like, is this the negative reality of a real reality? Because this appears to me more and more as it smiles and how it laughs and how it manifests as the underworld. That's what I see with this, is the underworld. And if it's the underworld, it's a lower consciousness. That's why more and more we look in every aspect, everything's falling fast. I mean, from politics to these nations. I mean, sports is a joke now. Everything about sports that is coming out is just fast fall of crud. But I learned the gematria, it was phony baloney 5-6 years ago. It is. You can disagree all you want. I know what I've seen, I know what I learned, and I know how much I won when I went by using their numbers. Yeah. How about somebody always predicting who's winning the World Series 10 years in a row? Yeah, and no guys from gematria who crushed that for 10 years. And by me following that and learning that myself, you can bet and make money. But is that also helping us as a society grow into unity, oneness? Is this the reality we want, just to make money? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with abundance, but I'm saying when everything's connected to what is connected on this level, which is division, and most people who get it then want power. What's the greed? Because obviously that wasn't enough. That's why it says, for the love of it is the root cause of evil and disturbance and things people would do to other people that are just like, gosh darn, that's raunchy shit. That has nothing quality in it, right? I'm not talking about somebody who owns a few houses. I'm talking about when somebody gets what we call filthy, greedy, where it's not about the principle anymore of what you have. It's about the power you want to attain over others. That's why, I'll close with this. Our next message is going to flow right with this. Really right with this. So really the state I wanted to make with this today is, do you realize that you are playing yourself when you don't have wisdom and knowledge? You're still creating the reality, and creating the reality is in concert with everybody else, with certain very small number of 1%ers want this reality to be in this construct of this reality, where it seems like the criminals just run the insane asylum. The insane run the insane asylum. That's fact. But you guys have a great day.